The DCMA 14-point assessment. The DCMA 14-point assessment is used to ensure schedules are of high quality, complete, they improve the probability of successful outcome. Defense Contract Management Agency 14-point assessment is a solid set of guidelines for schedule analysis. This is useful to inspecting all type of schedules, including supporting earned value management and projects. Logic. Is a schedule logical? Schedule logic involves schedule tasks. All the predecessor, successor tasks concurrent. Missing links needs to be resolved because without schedule logic, an accurate display critical path will not be possible. Leads are not allowed in scheduling as they are confusing and disrupt the flow of the schedule. Leads are often replaced with positive flags, but this is not always the best alternative. It is better to have shorter, non-scope of work tasks connected by finish to start relationship with no lags. Lags. The DCMA does allow positive lags but has set a limit of use in a schedule. The limit for lags is no more than 5% of activity relationships. The best option is to replace lags with the tasks describing the effort or process, such as queue time. Lags are limited to 5% in order to support schedule clarity. Finish to start relationships. Even though Primavera P6 and Deltec Acumen Fuse both support all relationship types, the DCMA assessment states 90% or more of schedule dependencies should be finish start are acceptable. But building a whole schedule using start to start is obviously unacceptable. Hard constraints can really affect logic and disable a schedule from being logic driven. The DCMA assessment states that hard constraints should be limited to 5% of uncompleted tasks. Constraints of any type of discouraged, and a schedule should work without any. High float. Activities may not be linked properly and can cause stress on the critical path. Total float values are limited to 44 days. Therefore, review tasks that have greater than 2 months total float and limit their usage to 5% of incomplete tasks. Negative float. Schedules that have negative float tasks are already behind. Ideally, the DCMA says avoid having negative float in your schedule. If there is a negative float, make sure it is accompanied with a documented plan to mitigate being late. High duration tasks. Limit long duration tasks to 5% of incomplete tasks. Task duration should be no longer than 2 months in order to support schedule updating and reporting efforts. Break long activities down into a series of shorter ones for more detail. Invalid dates. Forecasted future work. For should not be in the past and actual completed work. Work should not be in the future. Invalid dates are not allowed under any circumstance. This will avoid illogical situations where future work is planned for the past and completed work happened in the future. Resources. Resource loading is not a requirement, but the DCMA like scheduled to be resource and cost loaded. If you follow this path, make sure the resource loaded schedule is completely loaded. All activities except milestones must have a cost or associate resources. Missed tasks. This check looks at how many activities have finished late compared to the baseline date. Monitoring excessive slippage. Only 5% of activities can slip from their finish baseline dates. This metric is a conservative and retrospective measure of schedule progress, but it's a good generic check to see if your project will deliver on time or not. Critical path test. Ensure that schedule has no continuous linkage from project start to finish. It tests the integrity of a schedule's critical path, looking for fluidity driven by good logic thinking. Critical path length index. The critical path length index, which is CPLI, is a forward looking gauge that assesses required efficiency to complete the project on schedule. It measures the ratio of the project critical path length and the project total flow to the project critical path length. The critical path length is the time in work days from the current date to the completion of the project. The target number is 1 and schedules that have CLPI less than 0.95 requires future review. Baseline Execution Index. The Baseline Execution Index, which is BEI, is an early warning indicator that a schedule is in trouble of not meeting the deadlines. Most scheduling software doesn't have BEI variable, but it is possible to compute the ratio yourself or purchase an additional scheduling software supplement. The BEI ratio, advanced, not trivial, and purposeful warning makes the computation worth the effort. A BEI of 1 means that schedule is on the right track.